Great Lakes Prepping here. If you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you are almost certain to have seen one of my previous soup making videos. Well, if you enjoyed the previous soup videos, then you're in luck, because today we have yet another soup making video. Today we're making an amazingly delicious version of one of Olive Garden's signature soups called Zuppa Toscana. It's got Italian sausage, bacon, potatoes, some kale, all in a pretty light cream broth. Now, around these parts, Olive Garden is not looked at as a fancy or even especially authentic Italian restaurant. It's sort of looked at as maybe the Waffle House of Italian restaurants. But here's the thing. Waffle House has food that I like, as does Olive Garden. And if you're a fan of Olive Garden soups, you've probably tried the Zuppa Toscana. And if you enjoy that soup and want to make it for yourself at home, well, keep watching and you're going to find out exactly how to do so. So let's get started. As always, let's get started by taking a look at our ingredient lineup. We have russet potatoes, ground Italian sausage, fresh kale, bacon, yellow onion, garlic, heavy cream, chicken stock, kosher salt, black pepper, red pepper flakes, and all-purpose flour. I'll get started by prepping some of the ingredients. After mincing the onion and garlic, I'll give the kale a rough chop. I'm using around half of one bunch of kale. I'll just pull the leafy parts off the stem and give them a quick chop. I want to end up with about 3 cups of chopped kale. Next, I'll peel and cut up the potatoes. Rather than dicing the potatoes, I want to cut them into small slices. Basically, I'll quarter each potato lengthwise and then cut into about 1/2 inch thick slices. And I'll put the potato slices into a bowl and cover with water until I'm ready to use so they don't start turning brown. And the last step before starting the soup is cutting up my 4 strips of uncooked bacon. Again, I'm going for about 1/2 inch pieces. Now, with the stove on medium heat, I'm going to throw in my 1 pound of ground Italian sausage into the pot. As this starts to cook, I'll break it up with a wooden spoon. And I'll just keep doing this until it's broken up into small crumbles. A quick note about the sausage. You can use mild or hot Italian sausage. Both turn out delicious, so this is a matter of personal preference if you like a little more spice. I'm using mild sausage here. Once the sausage is fully browned, I'm going to strain it through a metal colander to remove the excess grease. Next, throw in the bacon and cook until it's just about crispy. At this point, I need to remove the bacon from the pot, but I don't want to get rid of the bacon grease. So, using a slotted spoon, I'll get the bacon out of there, leaving the grease behind. And the reason for keeping that grease? To saute the onions in, of course. Saute 1 chopped medium yellow onion until translucent but not brown. By the way, the onions may turn a brownish color because of that bacon grease, and that's fine, but we don't want to brown the onions in the cooking sense of the word. Then add 3 cloves of garlic, minced, and cook another minute. Now we'll stir in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and let that all cook for 1 more minute. Next, we're pouring in 1 quart of chicken stock and then adding the sliced potatoes. From here, I want to bring everything up to a boil and then reduce the heat to a simmer. We want to cook it until those potatoes are tender, about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we'll add our sausage and bacon back in, along with that chopped kale. Give that all a quick stir and then pour in 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. If you want your soup pretty thick, no more liquid is needed. For me, I think it needs to be just a little more brothy, so I'm also going to stir in about 1.5 cups of water. The last step, for which I neglected to hit the record button on my camera, is to add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon red pepper flakes. Then we'll let everything simmer for about 10 minutes. And that's it. Now it's ready to serve. And that's all there is to it. Delicious, homemade, Olive Garden style Zuppa Toscana. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen a bowl of Olive Garden soup recently, or for that matter, any of their dishes, but ever since this whole pandemic thing and everyone's tightening their belts, their meals have been kind of sad. I've probably only been there a couple times since this all started, but a bowl of soup is mostly going to be liquid. You get their chicken gnocchi soup. You might see one teeny tiny little gnocchi floating around in there, and the Zuppa Toscana isn't really much better than that. So you can't beat making it at home. You can have that as loaded up with the delicious ingredients as you want, or I guess as liquidy as you want. For me, it's all about a nice balance between the two. So that's it for now. Be sure to like and subscribe and stay up to date with all our latest stuff, including future soup videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, right here in the Great Lakes Kitchen.